As long as we're on the subject of hitchhiking, I'd like to relate a hitchhiking experience that I once had, but first a little context. An author named Jeremy Packer has just put out a book called Mobility Without Mayhem about the influence of the automobile on American culture, and he touches on the subject of hitchhiking and the way he portrays it, and I agree with him. I'm not saying it's fair, but it is what I've seen myself, that hitchhiking has gone from a happy serviceman or college student going home for the holidays to a person to be feared, and the reason being that the automobile has become so central to the American lifestyle that a person without a car is assumed to be someone that should be feared. And I think he nails it. Again, I'm not saying it's fair, but I think that is the way it is. Anyway, I was fortunate to come up in the tail end of it. When I was in college in the early 1980s, a lot of college kids still did save money by hitchhiking, and I was one of them. I would hitchhike back and forth from Rochester, New York to Albany, New York on the New York State Thruway. And one time I was hitchhiking back from Albany heading home to Rochester, and I got a ride and they let me off in Syracuse. So I was looking for another ride for the last 70 miles. And one thing I should say is it was not usual to be picked up by 18-wheelers. It was more people in regular vehicles, sedans, station wagons, pickup trucks, personal vehicles, not commercial truckers would pick you up. Anyway, so I'm there in Syracuse with my thumb out, and all of a sudden this big 18-wheeler pulls up, and I'm thinking, man, I always wanted to ride in one of these. Up there in that big cab, king of the road, as they say. This is going to be fun. So I'm ready to hop in, and the trucker, he leans out through the open passenger window, and he says, "Hey, you got any reefer?" I'm like, no, I wasn't really one for to smoke marijuana, and I had no reefer, as he called it. I had nothing like that on me. So I said no, and I was still hoping to get a ride, and he looks at me disgusted, and he gives this kind of grunt, and he gives me the old wave off, like right out the window, like, ugh. And he slides over back behind the wheel and drives away. So I had no reefer and I had no ride on an 18-wheeler, and that is my hitchhiking story.